Hi there guys, and welcome back to another video. Today in this video we're going to be looking at round 4 of the Rennsport R1 Championship. So obviously we've come off 2 good rounds at Monza and Hockenheim, but now we're heading to Fuji where things were looking pretty good. I've got to be honest, like as a team we felt like we got on top of the track pretty well. We feel like we're way quicker than the balance of performance times that were set in our car, so we're looking good coming into this round. But as you guys will start to see throughout this video, yeah, things didn't quite go to plan. Now, I will say this was the first round of dynamic groups, so it was us versus Coanda and Redline. All 4 drivers on track at the same time, so a slightly different format to what you guys are probably used to seeing, not just from my videos, but from Rennsport in general. It's something that was trialled at EWC last year with all 4 drivers on track at the same time for the team championship, and in my opinion, I quite like this new format. This dynamic groups, it sort of gives you something to fight for every single round, and you can set little objectives for each race. This week we're going to try and win the group, or we're going to just try and stay in our group or not get relegated and things like that. So yeah, let's get into the race and we will show you guys how we managed to perform at Fuji. So then, into race number 1. Now you will notice there's no qualifying lap. That is it's due to the fact that I can't actually load the replay. I get an Unreal Engine crash every time I try to launch it. I've tried to load the official one from Rennsport and I'm getting the same issue. So, unfortunately, I can't show you my Q lap. I will put the results up on screen now. Obviously Josh Rogers on pole, Dara second with an amazing lap by Aston standards. We managed to put it P6, so not great, but for Group A it's not terrible. With Wojta and Misha at the rear of the field. So, doing a little bit of brake warming, a little bit of fuel burning, same as everyone else. You can see the brake lights from Charlie Collins just ahead of us, and we knew that T1 was going to be pretty hectic. Yeah, there's a pretty long straight on the way down there, so plenty of time to build a bit of slipstream and build a run on someone. So yeah, we had to bear that in mind as we're about to go green. Josh Rogers in control of the field, holding 90 kph bang on, or 89. And we are green finally for the start of the race. So, tucking in nice and close in behind Charlie Collins, Dara instantly goes defensive, and then that leads to a pretty scary sort of 4-wedge scenario. As into turn number 1 we're going to take it a little bit easy and brake as we stay tight to the inside, trying to avoid all the carnage. And yeah, we've managed to avoid everything, and we're now side by side with Dara. But we are now 3 wide with Charlie Collins and into the kink, and I get a massive hit on the left rear and we are around. So that great start was all completely undone basically straight away, as yeah, we're now P10. We've got Luke Bennett close behind us with Wojta as well. The two of them had an issue in turn number 1. So yeah, not gone well. Dara's still holding on to P2, but he's not got the draft of Rogers now in P1, so P2 will probably be the maximum he can sort of hope for. Misha in P8, I'm P10, Wojta P12. So at this point here, just got to knuckle down, get our heads back in the game and see if we can close in on the pack ahead. So skipping forward onto the last lap of the race, as you can see, Luke Bennett has gotten past us for P10. Misha has dropped back to P9 and is now not too far ahead of us, but yeah, it's been a disaster for race 1. Dara also had an issue which has dropped him further down the order as well. He got sort of shuffled around a little bit, and yeah, it just nothing really panned out for us. One of the reasons why is, as you'll see here in this last sector, just how tricky our car is to drive. Yeah, if you just pay attention to the sort of steering input, the car is always sort of twitching around. It's never really, yeah, it's never really in a good balance window. It's always getting like big snaps out of corners like that, and you can see the traction of the BMW is fairly good. Yeah, I'm trying to use that inside curb like Bennett to try and get a bit of grip and a bit of rotation, but it just wasn't to be. And yeah, we just struggled all race really compared to the other cars. You can see here Rogers doing a 1.5 on the last lap of the race, or sorry, he'd done a 1.5 earlier in the race as a PB. We couldn't even get close to that in testing, let alone in the actual race. So yeah, you can see there we were doing sort of 0.3s at best. So yeah, we're clearly a tenth to a tenth and a half off on raw pace and race trim, and to be honest, in qualifying wasn't much different from that. So yeah, a rough race 1. Let's move on to race number 2. So here we are then in race number 2, hoping to bounce back after a fairly disappointing race 1 to say the least. And yeah, here we are just starting our quali lap. So you can see coming at the last corner, a bit of a twitch, goes a little bit wide, and yeah, at this point here, looking up to the top left, you can see Siggy's on pole with a 0.34, which is within a few thousandths of my actual PB coming into this race. As a team, we didn't even touch the 0.2s, and these guys are doing 3s in the actual qualies, so I can already tell from looking at the top left that it's not looking good. Into turn number 1, getting over that apex curb, didn't get any oversteer on the exit, pretty happy with that, a little bit wide, but generally that's okay. So T1's gone pretty good. Into the kink then, T number 2, a little bit wide, again of the apex, and a little bit slow on the exit. 4-1 sector 1, targeting a sort of mid 3 for sector 1, and then into the next left-hander, then trailing off, get as much of that inside curb as you can with a short shift to third. Pretty good traction actually, we got a decent run off the corner, but yeah, just a little bit under the limit, just not pushing hard enough really. A little bit scared to put the car on the limit at this circuit. It was a common issue in testing for me as well. Into the chicane, lanes are pretty solid, but again a little bit down on entry speed as we do a 6-6 middle, and then into the last sector, which is really where our issues are yeah, exaggerated. So into the second last corner, underdrove the entry again, braked too early, carried too much trail brake. Into the last corner, trying to be as smooth as we possibly can, avoid the or minimise the oversteer, but a big snap out the last corner. And yeah, pretty bad. At this point here, we're looking down at the sectors, trying to judge how that last one was, obviously knowing that it's not good, and it's a 5-6 last sector, which is absolutely horrendous. Almost 2/10ths away from what we were doing in testing in that last sector. So, you know, I can sit here and complain about the car, but ultimately that lap was terrible. And it has put us provisionally P8 with a couple guys behind us on quick laps. So, yeah. Just got to brush that one off. Me and Voiter at the back, got to just try and do our best to recover what points we can. Misha's not too far ahead as well, so yeah, let's move forward into the race. So as we start the race, yeah, we are currently at the very back of the field, but if you look at the top left, you can see it's saying Jeffrey Reitveld is at the very back. So yeah, I think he's had an issue at some point. In race 1 we did have a red flag, which was the first red flag I've ever experienced, which I was going to show you, but I couldn't due to the server crash, as there's a massive check up here. Yeah, there was a red flag. Basically, Jeffrey Reitveld got in the car and no one could see him. He was driving around, he could see everyone fine, but none of us could see him, and people were like crashing into him and stuff like that. And every time we came out the chicane, his car was still just parked where it was, and it took the stewards until about lap 7 to throw the red flag. So yeah, it might actually be in this race, I'm not 100% sure, but anyway, we've gone green. It's 4 wide up at the front, and we're going to go down the inside of Misha. Not the most ideal scenario to be having to send it on your teammate, but yeah, there was a gap on the inside. We've managed to get up into P7. We got Dara just on our inside in P6, so we've actually got off to a great start, as Dara sticks one up the inside of Enzo in the kink, tries to make something happen, but no room to go anywhere. As yeah, we've gone from 11th to 7th in T1, so we've done exactly what we did in race 1, stuck it on the tight on the inside, and just sort of took advantage of everyone else on the outside making contact and sliding in the off-camber stuff, as Misha behind has been involved in an accident. He's dropped to the rear of the field now, and it's promoted Voita up to P10. So here, a little bit of argy-bargy in the chicane. Redline cars get into a bit of an issue, and yeah, they actually end up spinning each other out while they were battling with Dane Warren. So now it's gone from really bad to not too bad. Got 2 Coandas ahead and 1 Redline. So yeah, it's actually not gone too badly. Not gone too badly at all. We've got 0.68 out back to Enzo, so we just needed a good last corner here. And we should be able to break the draft, but unfortunately Dara has got slipstream from Dane, and it's going to pull him out of slipstream from me, so we're not quite going to have enough speed to break the draft on Enzo. But yeah, a really positive lap 1 into the top 5. Moving forward then, now on lap 7, Dara has moved up to P3 and is currently battling with Dane, but yeah, Enzo has also caught us as we are struggling just a little bit for race pace. So I'll let Enzo have the inside, as I wanted to be able to spot the braking marker and try and go around the outside. At this point he was good on the brakes. I tried to get the over-under, but he covered it off really well, and he takes P5 away from us. Just ahead though, Dara and Dane are still side by side in the kink, so there's an opportunity for us to get back into draft range and try and help Dara a little bit. So I don't want to lose too much time. I was conscious of the fact that you know, those two were going to scrap, and I didn't want to lose too much time battling with Enzo. So I figured if I drop in behind Enzo, I can sort of sit there and try and help defend from Collins and Bennett. But you can see here, just huge wash of understeer on the brakes. I didn't brake late. I just braked at my normal point, and the car just decided it didn't want to stop. So into the chicane now, having to go defensive on Collins, as yeah, I don't know how the Porsche has that much grip, but he's just driven clean round the outside of the first right of the chicane. We managed to hold him off, but of course this has now cost us a huge amount of time, and we're now 0.7 back from Enzo. So it's pretty smart from Charlie to lose me the draft, give him a better opportunity at overtaking. But of course now it's left us exposed to not just Charlie, but also Luke Bennett and even Jordan Caruso behind. The weakest point of our car was out the last corner as well, so kind of no matter what I did, I was going to be under attack. So yeah, that was a tough one to sort of try and deal with over the course of the race. The other cars were sort of either pulling time on us or pulling away from us, which gave us less draft. But thankfully Bennett and Collins behind are having a bit of a scrap, so that gives us some breathing room into T1. We run a little bit deep yet again, but you can see up ahead Dara and Dane are still fighting. So yeah, I'm hoping that they can slow each other down enough in this middle sector to get us back in draft range. We just need a really good couple sectors and we'll get back in draft range. So then, on to the last lap of the race. Dara's hold on to P3. He's done a really incredible job actually to be able to hold back Dane and Enzo up until this point. And yeah, we're on board with Dara at the moment as he hits the brakes for T1, goes defensive and just gets absolutely buried off the circuit. So obviously that's massively unfortunate for Dara. Nothing he did wrong, simply went defensive and got crunched. So yeah, a bit of a mistake there from Dane, so we're expecting a penalty which would promote us into the top 4, which on a personal note is a good result, but for the team obviously it's not good. We've got Vojta P9, Dara P10, and I think Misha is still in P12. So yeah, we've got two Coanda and 2 Redline ahead of us. We're getting absolutely thumped at this point. We've hardly scored anything, and yeah, I mean it's been a bit of a combination of things so far. It's been a lack of execution on the driver's part of things, especially from myself. But yeah, I mean ultimately the car is just really struggling in this last sector. You can see how much we're sliding around the lines that the BMW is able to take compared to us, and we were just losing so much time in the last sector that we just couldn't compete. Every single lap we were under attack. Very rarely were we on the offensive. So yeah, we crossed the line, P5. But yeah, gotta hope for a penalty for Dane to move us up into P4 and try and salvage some extra points. So then, race number 3. I'm having to use the official Rennsport replay as mine again crashes every time I try to load it. So yeah, we've got to hope that Unreal Engine can get a fix out soon, because it is making it really difficult to actually make these videos. Trying to use my own replays. But anyway, last race of the night. no chance of surviving. We're guaranteed to go down to Group B at this point based on the point scenario, so we're just trying to go out with a bit of a bang, take some positives from it, at least get something out of the race and carry that into Jeddah. So into turn number 1, get the braking point, turn in, and the car just goes straight. It's something I've struggled with all season with this car. If you turn the wheel just a little bit too much whilst on max brake, the full car just starts sliding. And yeah, T2 wasn't much better, to be honest. It was a bit more committed than the last one, but it's a 4.2 compared to the 4.1 from the previous quali. So yeah, nothing special. This lap here, I'm just going full send. Not obviously the last quali I took it way too easy. This one I'm just like, you know what, we're going out regardless. I might as well go all in, go for glory, see what we can salvage. Middle sector so far hasn't been ideal, but into the chicane, get over the curb nicely, pick up the throttle, and get a slowdown. Yeah, the track limit in that chicane is an absolute mess. The more you cut off the first right, the nicer it is, and for us with their oversteer on throttle and slightly questionable curb behaviour, the more you can cut off it, the nicer it feels. And yeah, we just simply cut too much. Was trying to salvage something from quali, but ended up picking up the slowdown. So we'll be at the back of the field for the last race. The rest of the guys, it's not going much better, to be honest. There's a 3.8 on pole. 4.0, 4.7. I mean, these guys are all just hitting times that, yeah, we were struggling to hit in testing, and yeah, at this point I am pretty much done with the night. I just want it to end. This, as I say, nothing to gain. I'm starting from the back, so yeah, let's move on to the race. So P12, what can we do from here? We've got no one in the top 3. It's me in last, Voigt is 10th, Misha is 7th, and Dara's somewhere in the mid pack. So pace car is off, and at this point just waiting for the lights to go green. Yeah, we can still make something happen from the back. We've seen it at turn 1 the last 2 races. I've managed to make up 3 or 4 spots, so there's still potential to get a top 6 out of this. As yeah, straight off the start, number 14 the Luke Bennett gets a great start. It starts to really fan out already as people are trying to get runs on each other, and all 4 of us are sort of all stuck together. It's 5 wide in T1 ahead. We've clipped Voigt, and absolute chaos ensues on the outside. We get a good run off of T1, and magically we've done it again. We're up to 7th. We've gained 5 spots in T1. Voigt is up to P6. Dara's P4, as we managed to go round the outside of right Veld, try and lift off a little bit, just give Voigt a gap to slot back into, and all of a sudden it's 4th, 6th and 7th. It's not terrible. Siggy goes defensive on the inside, I go to the outside, and then bang, taken out again for the 2nd time in 1 round. And just like that, me and Voigt are the only 2 that are negatively affected, and we're off the back. So yeah, let's go have a look at that replay. So here we are then on board with Bennett, as Misha has sort of tried to go defensive, and it's just sent Bennett clear into the grass, and he's just gone bowling. Yeah, not really too sure what to make of that, to be honest. Just really unfortunate. I think Misha tried to pinch him to the inside, Bennett was expecting him to move over, and they've made contact under braking, which has just caused the cars to do that. So yeah, big shame. A lot of points lost, and any potential positives we could have taken are well and truly gone. So here we are then in the last sector of the last lap. You can see we're up to P10. There was some bust ups going on ahead, and we somehow managed to kind of claw ourselves back into draft range. And once again behind Luke Bennett. But yeah, a horrible night for the team. P10 for me, P11 for Misha, and P12 for Voigt. I believe Dara came home 4th on track. But yeah, I think he ended up getting a penalty for something that happened earlier in the race. So yeah, what a disaster. The worst round we've had by far. Yeah, let's pick ourselves up, move on to Jeddah. So that was round number 4 of the Rennsport R1 Championship. Yeah, quite a few takeaways from that. First and foremost, on a personal standpoint, I was nowhere near good enough. The confidence just dropped. It had been sort of wavering all week. The car just I didn't feel comfortable with the car underneath me at Fuji. When I could hook a lap together, it was right there. It was where it had to be. You know, we were doing mid to low 0.3s in practice. You know, we all had PBs within around half a tenth. It's not as if I was missing, you know, a tenth to data, or, you know, as if we were all miles off pace. We were all within roughly half a tenth. But just when it came to putting the lap in under pressure, I just couldn't get a feel for the car. The feeling the limit was really tricky. The last sector specifically was the main concern. It was just so easy to lose time and not really understand why. It was really minimal things that were going wrong that sort of knocked my confidence leading up to the race, and then in the actual qualities, of course, there's no margin for, oh, I feel a little bit nervous, I can back off. It just doesn't exist. You've got to push flat out and hang on to it, and just remember what you were doing before in practice. So yeah, gotta regroup, take a couple days to reset, and then focus all eyes on Jeddah and try and get back into Group A. With that, guys, that is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys are interested in following more of the Rennsport R1 Championship in the lead up to the Esports World Cup, then don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below, and I will see you guys next time.